Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into a subject that, honestly, it feels less like a topic and more like this sense of dread for
Ugh.
millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's that moment you hit 50, you look at your retirement accounts, and you just realize you are nowhere near where you thought you'd be. It's this heavy, paralyzing weight.
It is. And the good news, and this is really the crucial message of this entire deep dive, is that it is absolutely not too late.
Okay.
We've gathered insights and advice that are, designed specifically for you, for the late starter. Our mission here is to move you past that anxiety, that regret,
Right.
and give you a clear, actionable roadmap to get to financial security within the next, say, 10 to 15 years.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. Because our research, it clearly suggests the starting point isn't, calculating compound interest or auditing a 401k.
Oh, not at all.
It starts with your mindset.
Yeah.
It's that belief that I've waited too long, I'm doomed. That thought is probably the biggest financial drain you face right now.
That feeling of being perpetually behind is the primary obstacle. It is so natural to feel regret, but if that regret stops you from acting, well, it becomes financially dangerous.
So you can't change the past.
You cannot change the last 20 years, but you have absolute control over the next 10 to 15. The whole process, it really hinges on replacing that fear with focused, empowered action.
So we need to cultivate a growth mindset here. You're seeing this challenge not as some failure to be hidden, but as an opportunity to get incredibly disciplined and make this next decade your financial best.
Exactly.
How do we put that mental shift into practice, like right now?
With radical honesty. The first action step is what we call the honest financial assessment. And please do not delay this step. You have to know your baseline.
But people are ashamed to look, right? They don't want to see the numbers.
That's the thing. That shame, it just delays the solution. So practically, what does it look like?
Yeah, what do you do?
It means tracking every single stream of income, your salary, any side gigs, whatever it is, and crucially, tracking every single expense for 1 to 3 months.
And we're not just talking about the mortgage and the car payment.
No. We mean the $5 coffee runs, the forgotten subscriptions, the impulse buys on Amazon, everything.
I think people overlook how vital that is.
Yeah.
It's diagnostic, right? It's not meant to punish you.
Exactly.
It's the difference between saying, ugh, I spend too much, and knowing I spend $400 a month on delivery food.
Precisely. Once you have that hard data, you separate expenses into needs. So housing, debt payments, basic food, essential health care, and then wants or luxuries.
And that's your target zone.
That defines your discretionary spending zone. That zone is your immediate opportunity for savings.
Okay, so to wrap up this whole foundation piece, we need a measurable target. How do we define that starting line?
You calculate your net worth, and this is simple. It's the value of everything you own. Your assets, so home equity, savings, investments, minus everything you owe.
Your liabilities, mortgage, credit card debt, car loans.
Exactly. That single number is your financial baseline. It might be negative, it might be positive, it could be zero. But it gives you a starting point to measure every future victory against.
That's how you track progress. That's how you stay motivated.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have clarity. We have clear emotional footing. We can move into the engine room, maximizing that savings lever. And this is where the late starter, the person 50 and over, has a distinct government-mandated advantage.
They absolutely do. This advantage is the ability to make what are called catch-up contributions to tax-advantaged retirement accounts.
Right. The government basically recognizes you need to accelerate.
Most systems do, yeah. They know workers over 50 need to save faster, so they raise the annual limits for you.
This is a massive accelerator that younger savers just don't have access to. Can you give us a concrete example of the impact?
Of course. Let's look at the U.S. system in 2024 just as an illustration. The standard 401k limit is set, but those age 50 and over can contribute an additional $7,500.
Wow. Per year?
Per year. If you can maximize that extra contribution for just 10 years, that's $75,000 in principal alone.
And that's growing tax deferred.
It's a game changer. And you see similar things in other countries, special pension vehicles or ISAs with higher caps for older individuals.
That specific detail, that extra chunk you can contribute, that nugget should drive every saving decision from here on out.
It should, but before you even think about that, the primary directive is still
Securing the employer match.
it is priority number one. We cannot stress this enough. If your employer matches your contributions up to, say, 5%, you must at a minimum, contribute enough to get that full match.
It's an immediate risk-free return on your money.
It's 100% return or 50%. There is no faster way for a late starter to build their nest egg.
All right, so let's talk investment strategy. We got 10 to 15 years, not 40. We need growth, but we can't afford a major market correction wiping us out. We don't have time to recover.
So what's the balance? The prevailing advice, it really suggests a moderate risk approach. This means you have to avoid the temptation of single stock speculation or trying to catch the next big thing.
You just don't have the runway.
You don't have the runway to recover if it goes wrong.
So if we're avoiding that high-risk stuff, what should we be focusing on?
Consistency and compounding. The sources repeatedly suggest focusing on low-cost, broadly diversified index funds.
Why those specifically?
Well, they spread your risk across hundreds, even thousands of companies, so you get market average returns without the crazy volatility.
And that term low cost is so vital, especially now. What are we talking about when we say low cost?
We're talking about expense ratios. This is the fee the fund charges to manage your money, and it's expressed as a percentage. In a low-cost fund, it might be, 0.03% a year.
Which is almost nothing.
Almost nothing. But in an actively managed fund, it might be 1.5%. Over 15 years, a 1.5% fee silently eats away at your principal and, critically, your compounding gains.
It's that silent erosion of your wealth. And for a late starter, every penny needs to be working for you, not paying some manager's high fees.
Exactly.
If we assume you're consistently investing, say, $500 a month with a conservative 7% return, even over just 15 years, that grows into over $130,000.
Which is a meaningful nest egg.
Yeah.
And it's built purely through consistency and compounding.
So that's the encouragement right there. Don't look back at what you missed. Focus on the power of what you can do today.
Yes. And another key strategy here is to audit those old pensions. A lot of people in their 50s have 3 or 4 old retirement pots scattered around, all with high fees.
So you consolidate them.
You consolidate them into 1 or 2 low-cost accounts, and you can boost your net returns immediately.
And then to make sure those returns aren't diminished, we use tax strategy.
Absolutely. Utilizing tax reliefs, making contributions pre-tax, or letting gains grow tax-free, depending on your system, it's like getting a government subsidy for saving. You have to use every tool available.
Okay, now we switch from saving to generating. That brings us to the income and expense levers. We need more fuel to pour into this savings engine. Let's start with the painful side first. Strategic expense reduction.
Or, as we like to call it, spending smarter. For a late starter, the biggest, highest impact change often revolves around housing.
Which is usually the largest single expense for most people.
It is. Mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, maintenance. It all adds up.
And this is where the conversation gets tough, because we're talking about things like downsizing or even relocating.
Exactly. For many people, the family home is, it's emotionally loaded. But financially, moving to a smaller, more manageable space, or even relocating to a lower cost of living area, can instantly free up a huge amount of equity.
And that freed equity can be the jumpstart your retirement fund desperately needs.
If you can inject, say, $100,000 or $200,000 of equity directly into your investment portfolio, that beats trying to save $300 a month for the next decade.
That's a profound shift in thinking. Viewing your house not just as a home, but as a financial asset, a lever you can pull.
It is.
But what about the smaller daily optimizations?
We audit the discretionary spending. Every listener needs to look at their phone bill, their table package, those forgotten streaming subscriptions.
Meal plan.
Huge. Use meal planning to drastically cut food waste and grocery costs. The goal isn't deprivation, it's just intentionality.
Right.
If you cut just 10 or 20% of that discretionary spending and you redirect that money straight to your catch-up contributions, you are accelerating your timeline every single day.
Okay, so now for generating alternative income. People in their 50s have this incredible asset base of professional experience and skills. This is the time to monetize it.
This is where being 50 is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
You have deep career expertise. For active income, look at consulting or freelancing.
Using what you already know.
Exactly. You can set your own hours, your own rates, and that cash flow is much faster than trying to start some brand new venture from scratch.
And what if your current expertise isn't easily freelanceable? What then?
Then you look at the gig economy. Ride sharing, offering technical support online, task-based work. Even if it's just 10 hours a week, An extra $300 to $500 a week goes directly into those accelerated savings accounts.
You're trading time for money, but the short-term boost is worth it.
It's worth it. And don't forget monetizing hobbies.
That's a great stream. If you're skilled at writing, tutoring, coaching, crafting, whatever, turn it into supplemental income.
And finally, if you can, explore passive income. This could be as simple as renting out a spare room, if downsizing isn't an option, or focusing your investment strategy on dividend-paying stocks that give you those regular payouts.
The power here is recognizing you don't need one grand, massive business idea, right?
Not at all.
It's about combining multiple, modest income streams to accelerate your security and your flexibility.
That cushion is exactly what we need, which leads us to our final segment, protecting the plan and maintaining momentum.
Because a late-stage plan is incredibly vulnerable to unforeseen costs, especially health costs.
Health is wealth, but it's also a financial liability if you don't manage it. And we need safety nets to prevent those costs from eating into the retirement savings we're working so hard to build.
Right. And our sources emphasize two crucial funds for that.
The first is the classic emergency fund. This is your major catastrophe buffer. It's designed for things like job loss or a massive uninsured medical emergency.
How much should be in there?
For someone starting late, we recommend aiming for 3 to 6 months of living expenses, kept liquid in a separate, easily accessible savings account, completely untouched by your investments.
And the second safety net is one people often overlook, the contingency fund.
Yes. The contingency fund is a monthly or quarterly buffer for those predictable but unexpected costs.
Like a car repair.
A minor car repair, a high insurance deductible, a surprise dental visit. By having the smaller rolling fund, you stop yourself from dipping into that big emergency fund or, even worse, running up credit card debt when something small goes wrong.
That small cushion preserves the integrity of the whole plan. It's so smart.
It does. And beyond the cash, you also need to prioritize proactive health action as a core financial strategy.
You treat preventive care as an investment.
Absolutely. Prioritize your annual physicals, your screenings. Review your health insurance plans every single year to make sure they're cost-effective. Opt for generics.
Wellness isn't just about feeling good.
It's about reducing the probability of a massive, financially ruinous health event down the line. An hour spent exercising today could be thousands saved in medical costs in 10 years.
Okay, so we've built the plan, we've protected the plan, but life will throw curveballs. A job setback, a market dip, an unexpected debt. How do we stay motivated when obstacles inevitably pop up?
By reframing the setback. Don't see debt as failure. See it as a chance to develop fierce discipline. Don't see a market dip as a disaster. See it as an opportunity to buy assets at a discount. You have to cultivate financial resilience.
And the power of celebrating small wins. That shouldn't be underestimated, should it? It keeps that motivation loop going.
Oh, for sure. Track your progress visually. Every debt you pay off, every extra contribution you make, every subscription you cut, celebrate it.
It makes the goal feel less far away.
It turns this abstract, far-off goal of retirement into a series of achievable, concrete steps. And continually visualize that secure life. What does it look like? Where are you? That maintains your purpose when the hard work feels overwhelming.
And you definitely don't have to do this alone.
No. Build a support system, a financial advisor, a friend, a peer group that reinforces positive action and, holds you accountable.
And finally, flexibility.
Flexibility is strategic adaptation, not failure. If life throws a huge financial curveball, you adjust the budget, you modify the savings goal, but you never stop moving forward. That momentum is the key to winning this race.
This deep dive has shown us that facing a late start isn't about shame. It's about clarity and aggressive, focused action. Let's recap the 3 pillars that will define your success over the next 10 to 15 years.
Pillar 1, shifting your mindset from that paralyzing regret to empowerment. And that is driven by a radical, honest assessment of your net worth and your expenses.
All right. Pillar 2, maximizing every savings and income opportunity, using those massive catch-up contributions, low-cost index funds, and generating multiple streams of alternative income.
And Pillar 3, strategic protection. So reducing your biggest expenses, maybe through downsizing, and protecting the funds you've built with a robust emergency fund and that intentional contingency fund.
Remember that action matters so much more than perfection. Small, consistent steps taken today, setting up that first monthly catch-up contribution, finally auditing your insurance plans, they compound into truly meaningful results.
You have the tools and you have the strategies.
So here is our final provocative thought for you to carry forward. Your best retirement is not a dream determined by the mistakes of the past, but a predictable result shaped by the focused, disciplined choices you make today. The most important step you can take right now is simply to start.